Testing, testing. It's episode 15. Episode 15, truckstop.com. I had to double check to make sure it was. Episode 15. How's everybody doing out here? I think I already have a pre-selected city. See, I got my calculator up already. Hey. So we got andrewsmethod.com right here we're looking at right now before we get into the live load board action. We're looking at the trucking collection. We got logo design, book collection, music collection, which is not completely available yet, though I have albums. Live Life Slow apparel is sitting here. It's waiting to go. Oh, I have my screen zoomed in a lot where we're not going to be able to see my andrewsmethod.com good right now, but we will be able to see the load board very good today, and that's a very good thing. Because I know it's hard to see the whole load board. See, for example, we're going to be looking at it like this today. So we won't be able to quite see the destination city, state, but we can see the city, we'll see the origin cities, and we'll see the age for how long it's been posted. We'll be able to see the brokerage, the posted rate, and rate per mile. So we won't be able to see, we'll be able to see this much at a time. So over here on the right side of the board, we're going to be missing state and the weight in miles. So I'll keep my eye on that over here on the right. So, and this is also what I want to show is this logo design. There's 13 pages to choose from. Let me see if I can move my calculator. I'm not going to move my calculator right now because it's set for the show. Let's bring that back because we're almost ready to go. So we got this one, page number 3. I really like the artwork and the designs. You see how the nice designs with the colors and the outlines and the shapes. This insignia pack is really nice. So, like insignia, this would be good for if your trucking company has like one name like Roberts. Let me turn this down. So yeah, like Roberts Trucking. Boom, insignia. Any one of these where it says insignia, I can replace it where it says Roberts. So Roberts with the mountain in the back, Roberts with the lighthouse, Roberts right here with the spooky style font, the October style. Then all the way down to 13, which is this is the Wilderness pack. I like this one with the buffalo. I might redo my trucking company logo to this one on the buffalo. So they're all right here at Andrew's Method, and this is also what we're looking at is mytruckingsecrets.com. So this is a very quick way to get a oversight of what I'm offering with my book. This is more of the sales page, I guess you could say. And this is more of my casual, just come in whenever you're ready type of store. Book collection, here's my book. I got it set up, $27. And it has a chapter list right here. So 30 chapters, 1,069 pages. It's all right here. So let's get into the episode today. All right. So let's do Louisville, Kentucky. I don't think I've done that yet on my show. Louisville, Kentucky for flatbed. Thursday and Friday. We'll look at today and tomorrow's loads. I want to do it like I did last time, and I want to string together 3 loads, which is going to be a Thursday load delivering Friday, a Friday load delivering on Monday, and a Monday load delivering Tuesday. That's the core concept, but if nothing's picking today, I'll settle on the load that picks tomorrow and a load that picks Monday and delivers Tuesday. And it doesn't have to deliver Tuesday, because a load can pick Monday and deliver Wednesday. Tuesday. That's fine. So let's get into it. Let's look at Louisville flatbed. As you can see here, I got, well, the calculator's blocking a little bit of it, but 225 radius, Louisville, Kentucky is typed in pure, update and close. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, you won't be able to see it on the big screen up here because it's chopped off. It's going to be way over there on the right. But there's a total of 3,400 loads right now. Okay, so let's find one. And I do realize since my last episode, I just went to Florida. I took a trip down to Florida, and I realized that diesel fuel got a lot more expensive. So I apologize on that last episode a little bit. I was doing it based off of, I think, $2.60 a mile. Excuse me. So let me check my NASTech app, see what I'm currently paying for fuel. Oh, well, let's just say petrol, Jackson, Mississippi, I'm paying $2.59. So let's see up here, since I'm in the Louisville area, let's pick something that's more relevant. Alright, how about fuel in Indiana at TA? So that's $3 with my NASTech discount. Okay, so if my loads are staying in this area today, I'm going to estimate around $3 for fuel. Wow, that's expensive. It's pretty expensive. But look how many loads are on the load board. It's always going to be going up and down, fuel is. So we just got to make sure that we work it into our rates. So right now, there's so many freight. I'm just going to go ahead and switch it automatically to rate per mile. See how I pressed RPM? I'm switching it again to where it's going to start with the highest going down. That's an interesting load. It's got to be oversized of some kind. Maybe not. $8 a mile. $2,700 to go to Roanoke, Virginia. 200-mile deadhead to Columbus. 35,000 pounds on the weight. Trident is the broker. Let's take a look. Let's go with the blue. I just realized some of this is going to be chopped out. Let me fix that on the main screen. Give me just a second. Okay. Look at this. If you have a 53-foot flatbed, this is your load. It's not even oversized. And you can't see it on the main screen because it's over here on mine, but it's low popularity. When did this get posted? 1 hour ago. I'm coming. I just got my IRP set up over the phone, so that's good. So I'll have that, and got my last big old stack full of taxes, expenses that I printed out from all my online places and credit card statements that I didn't have, or credit card purchases that I didn't have receipts for. I ran a total for my gross revenue from QuickBooks. I did my whatchamacallit, this per diem. I like to do something like this. I just print out one of these calendars and I'll circle all the days that I'm over the road, add them all up. 115 days OTR. Went and got my insurance totals. Went and got my fuel totals. So yeah, I'll be doing that. And I'll be on the road to get some of this. I'll be on the road. Did I say that fast? I'll be on the road to get some of this too. So yeah, this is, wow, that's crazy. I'm not even going to book this load because it's not very typical. It's not going to be, you know, if I want to make like a thumbnail for this video where it's like however many dollar a week, to include this one this is really not super typical. And plus you would have to have a 53-foot flatbed. But look at that. That's a real load. I think it's a real load. Close it down. Let's see, what else do we have? We have these $9 loads. We have these $9 loads to go to Atlanta. Oh, it's 200-mile deadhead. Wow, look at that. Chattanooga to Atlanta for $1,100. TA services. They want that load moved to. When does that pick up? Tomorrow? Yeah. If you're on YouTube right now live, if you would give me a indication to make sure everything's coming across good. As you can see, I'm getting more used to doing this here. Okay. So yeah, we got that 1100 to go to Atlanta. Jeez. 50-mile deadhead to go to the one side of Kentucky to, well, actually it's only 163 miles. $8. Wow. Who cares what the cost of fuel is right now? Not when everything's reflecting. Schramm Brothers. This may, I don't know how real this load is for Schramm Brothers, because I've been looking at Schramm Brother loads, and it's probably going to say email only and multiple stops. I think the ones that they have in this area, yeah, email only for faster response. Email only, but you get a faster response. No comment. Okay. Franklin, Ohio for 800. There's so many nice little small scoops. JRC, look at this. Now JRC wants to pay, huh? When they're not those ISO containers. 45,000 pounds on the weight. 200-mile deadhead. Over $6 a mile to go to Rockville, Maryland, which is, you know, what's that, DC area? Let's see what type of load this is. I don't want to spend too much time today going down the rabbit hole of looking at different loads, but these are just, wow. Call Bob Jr. Exit number, extension number 1. Yeah. 45,000 pounds though, and that's not my type of route. I'm pretty sure that's the Panhandle route too. Going from Columbus. God bless you. Whoever wants to do that route with 45,000 pounds. Okay, so let's find the load. Because look at all these loads. I'm just still in the sixes. So, no deadhead right here to go to Earth City, Missouri, but it's still part of those Schramm Brother loads. And I think those are multiple stops. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. Let me get there. I need to point this microphone. Alright. So, what else do we have going on here? We have Geneva, Ohio. No, thank you. Excuse me. We got Trinity, 200-mile deadhead from Nashville. So if you was already in Nashville, you can go to Cincinnati. It's heavy on the weight, 45,000 pounds, but it's Trinity, so maybe it's not. Maybe it's not heavy, as they say. So look at this. We're at 100. Well, I got my calculator out right now still, but see, we're not missing anything with the calculator. That's why I have it in the middle. We're just actually I do need to I need to move it again since I had to move the screen so we could see the details. So hold on first, and we're gonna put this at 200. All right, let me go to this other screen. Where's my mouse? Here. Okay. Okay, yeah, so let me move it so we can see the brokerages. See, right now we're not going to be missing much because it's covering the phone numbers and how long it's been posted, only on a couple loads. Yep. So, yep, that way we can still see the brokerages for the most part. So let's keep it. Okay, now my logo needs to come here. Let's do it. Let's line it up there. Okay. It's not the way I originally planned. It's a little crowded, but let's keep going. Okay, we're still looking at Schramm Brothers. Or Schramm. Okay, York, Pennsylvania. 100-mile deadhead. $5.50 a mile. I mean, like, why not? York is sometimes hit or miss for me in flatbed. Sometimes hit or miss, but I've been there so many times in York, the whole state of Pennsylvania. For years, I would work out of the state of Pennsylvania until probably 2019, 2020 started slowing up in certain parts for me. But look at that, 43,000 pounds. It's pretty much what's that across the turnpike type of route. I would go for that type of money. I would definitely stay on the turnpike. Wow, that's a good load. But but York on a Friday. When does that pick up today? Yeah, and how many miles is this? York. It's only 500 miles, 200-mile deadhead. So it'd be a pretty long day's worth of driving. But really, that much money, that's almost weekend. That's really pretty much weekend type money. Let's just do that. Let's go with this load, okay? Let's see what York's doing on a Friday. Let's see what happens when we put ourselves on that part of the East Coast on Friday. Tarp and one set of coil racks. Wow, that's just one big old heavy coil, and that's Logistic Dynamics. And with that being one big heavy coil, I know that it's a real load. So let's just go ahead, call them up. Boom, we booked it. And really, we probably hesitated. Well, maybe we didn't hesitate too long because there's 3,500 other loads on the board. So let's do the math. So we got I'm gonna go on to Google Maps on my phone. All right. This is the same way I do it too when I'm on the field to calculate. But this is like, but I do it really fast when I'm. So we got Louisville, and really we were already in Louisville, so we didn't really have to deadhead. But let's see how far this deadhead actually is. Middletown. All right, so we're looking at 136-mile deadhead. All right, then from Middletown to York.
473 miles across the turnpike. Now, of course, you could drop down to the panhandle and it adds 30 miles, and this is 43,000 pounds. With that coil, no way. I'm not hauling that coil across the panhandle. So I'll pay the money to ride the toll road. So let's just say that's going to cost $200 in fuel. All right, so now this is why I got the calculator out, of course. It was a new edition of last week's episode. So we'll take this total miles. We have 136 plus total miles of 473. 609 total miles, and it's going to be a heavy load. The route's not so bad through the flat part of Ohio because it looks like it's picking up just north of Cincinnati. So we'll ride the flat part from Columbus all the way to about Wheeling, give or take. Actually, well, it's Zanesville. Yeah, we start getting more into it around there. Yeah. Wheeling. So from the Wheeling part, the rest of the Pennsylvania part, the turnpike is pretty hilly too. So let's just divide it by 6. That's what I normally do. 6 miles per gallon. And if you know that your truck is getting consistently more than 6, if you're doing the real like actual math on it, like from the pump when you fill your tank all the way up, and then you reset your odometer, then you drive the miles. Say you drive 600 miles. Then you fill your tanks all the way back up. Then you take that 600 miles divided by however many gallons it took, and that's like the real actual consumption rate. So if you're getting over 7, then you could probably estimate at 6.5 and 7. But there's no need to overcomplicate it. If you estimate on the low side, you're going to be making more anyways if you get better fuel. So I'm estimating slightly on the low. Well, more towards the low. Divided by 6 equals we need 101 gallons. And we see up there the fuel is pretty expensive, isn't it? So I want to check my NASDAQ price for Pennsylvania right now. Like something on the route. Well, I'd probably grab that fuel in Wheeling, West Virginia, and pay the IFTA tax later, because it's $2.78 in Wheeling. That's not bad. So let's see what it is somewhere on the turnpike, because NASDAQ we can use those. What is it, Sunoco's? So we can use those all up and down the turnpikes. Yeah, the Sunoco's. So it's $3.01. Yep. So dang, Kentucky was having pretty much the same price of fuel as Pennsylvania. That's pretty that's interesting. All right, so we'll say, yeah. So we'll times it by the cost of fuel up there. We'll just say $3.01 since that's what I'm paying for NASDAQ. So we got $314 we needed on fuel. Okay. So we'll just clear that. We'll keep that number in our head, 314. And the total gross on this load is $2,700. And we'll take out that 314 that we spent on fuel. So that's gonna be like there's $2,300 before tolls. I'll get the tolls in just a sec. So that's gonna be 23. Yeah, I mean, we could be super technical right now and pull out the PA Turnpike calculator. You guys want to do that? We'll do that. Let's be super technical. Because sometimes it's good to know, and once you know, then you could just, like, I usually go off that information, because I'm guessing it's going to be right around $250 to ride that portion, but it might be a little less. So I'll just type in on my phone PA Turnpike calculator. So we're going to be coming in on the Ohio connection and getting off. Where does that turnpike end? For it's going to be Harrisburg, Carlisle. Okay, so we'll go to Carlisle or Carzile. Carl. I've heard it said both ways many times. Okay, so class 5. Nope, we're going to go. This is a heavy load, so because Pennsylvania does bill according to weight as well. So that's class 7, 62,000 pounds to 80,000 pounds. 5 axle vehicle. Calculate. Jeez. Oh. Excuse me. If you were paying cash or pay by plate, it would have been $316. But if you have Easy Pass, it's $150. That's a big deal. That's a big difference. Yeah. Is it it's not crickling, is it? Hello? Hello? So, we'll less out the 150 for tolls. So we got this same 2386 number, 156 for the toll. So $2,200 in one day. That's pretty ridiculous. Things that my mm. Been thinking about getting one of those little lavaliers. Hello. Thought I heard some feedback, and I ended up creating feedback, more feedback than it really was. Okay, so we got $2,200, but I just want you to know. Let me turn down. Yeah, that'll help some. Okay, we'll do that. So, sorry about that. I had a little audio. What we have going on here is the something that's not super typical, but we got it, and that's part of what this business is too. Sometimes right place, right time, you're not going to be getting typical loads. So I wouldn't just what I'm saying is I wouldn't super count on just seeing loads like this all the time. But right now in this area in this climate, this is like some typical freight. So this is especially when you're an owner operator. This is why I'm starting to feel a little itchy right now. I know I'm supposed to be back out because these are my favorite times to be out, and sometimes this is typical. So let's keep it moving. We booked that load, so that means tomorrow we'll be in York, PA. Let's go ahead and switch this whole search. And if you're watching live on YouTube right now, if you would let me know if there's like some bad feedback or anything like that, or like some it'll sound like wind or something in the background. Hopefully not. So let's go to York. Just a second. I need to take a sip from my drink. Let's go to York. Okay, let's go to York. But since Louisville's so busy, I wouldn't even. It's not putting much doubt that York isn't going to be busy as well. So as you see, you can kind of see here I'm selecting 19 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So let's get right back into update and close. Okay, so we have 1,000 loads. That's optimistic. 200-mile deadhead, Turtle Creek, PA, to go right down to York, South Carolina. But this is the weekend load, so it's a little risky by coming over here for the weekend load. But we made so much money going in that let's just see what's going on. Wow, you can go all the way to New Mexico from New Jersey for $4,700, $233 a mile. I wouldn't even go for that, just because look, there's just so much stuff going on. I'd rather take this load to Florida for less, maybe. Alright, so what is this load? Kansas City, Missouri, right there. That's a decent load right there for JB Hunt, $328 a mile, $3,500. Really, we should just go ahead and snag that. But I don't even know what's going on, so I don't even want to undersell myself. So let me just take a better look at what's going on. For $3,500, that right after that $2,700, why not? This will be the shortest episode ever. Alright, but it is a 200-mile deadhead down there but from York, then so you're gonna be going through I-81. No, you could, but it's longer. Then you could be it's Baltimore, D.C., then Richmond. 28-mile deadhead to Omaha, $3,400. But I would rather make that deadhead probably. Well, that's about the same thing to go to Omaha. Cause what's that? 200 miles between Omaha and Kansas City. But it's way shorter deadhead, and you can just. And it's a partial? No way. But it's a B credit score. You can't see it on the screen up there, but it's a B credit score. Must deliver on Monday. That's fine. If it's a partial, let me know how big it is. Oh, no, this is something else I clicked on. That's Brownsville, Texas. Yeah. Anyways, I don't even know why I'm looking at it like that right now. Let's just go ahead and flip it right to rate per mile. Let's see what's really going on. Jeez. Okay. Wow. Oh, this is a Landstar load. Almost $10 a mile to PA. But let's look here because there's really no reason why we shouldn't be able to grab for over 3,000. That's Massachusetts for 3,000, only on 600 miles. See, that's okay. It's not so bad to go to Massachusetts when you're making enough to go out and in and out for $3 and come back out empty. Well, of course, less after toll, but after tolls. So we have this one to Aberdeen, Virginia. This would make for a real easy weekend, depending on what it is. But it's $2,000. So let's go for more. We got this one, 3,600. ATL. I love this company. Montrose. Oh, but it's going up to Bangor, Maine. So those are trailers. Those are the utility trailers. Multiple stops at Tractor Supply. But the good company. Good brokerage. Let's open this up to 200 loads. 3,500 to go to Illinois. That's not bad. Look at that with an 80-mile deadhead. It's Coyote though. Coyote takes a while to get set up. I'm not saying they're a bad company, but I just never did get set up with Coyote or some of the others. So Virginia Beach, over $4 a mile. You got quite a bit too much of a deadhead on that. So let's keep on moving. I know because I like that Omaha load, that Omaha and that Kansas City load. Just want to make sure there's nothing else getting left on the table here. Something like this, you can go to Denver. Now that's different when you're going to Denver for $4 and close to 6,000. It's too much of a deadhead. Well, I don't know. Able. Ow. Oh. So let me scroll back up. See, because we got some yellows, which are the freshly posted loads. But I would sign up with a Coyote for that one. Nah, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so let's go to the next page because we're still in the upper threes. So here we go. We got this Baltimore to Florida load, 1,000 miles. Decent. I'd rather go to this one though. Lynn, Missouri. It's 44,000 pounds though. And remember, these are all, if they're new customers, they're going to be requiring credit checks. Just for the record, if you're new to the show. Okay, so we got Orlando. We got Palmetto, Florida for $3.50 a mile, which is $3,400. These aren't so bad. So we got this one, Illinois for JB Hunt, but it's 200-mile deadhead, $3.42 a mile. That's not the one. Where's the one I want? Okay, so this JB Hunt one is... No, there's multiple JB Hunts coming out of Richmond. Yep. I think I'm going to get this Kansas City one, unless there's one with a smaller deadhead. This one's not so bad, 61-mile deadhead, but it's to Minnesota, and I'm not often going to Minnesota. But if you're living in Minnesota and you like those routes, there you go. Overland. I think that's a Kansas City brokerage. Maybe. Philadelphia to Cartersville. But I don't often like picking up in Philadelphia. It's just personal preference. Because usually when they say pick up in Philadelphia, they mean Philadelphia. And So these loads really need to make my attention when it's Philadelphia, which is pretty good attention actually. And that's Dewey. That's a big trucking company up there. So these guys, I never haul for them, but I'm sure they're good company because they got a big trucking company themselves. This goes down to Georgia, $3 a mile, $2,500. I like that one too. Actually, so we got this one to Salt Lake. You can go all the way to Salt Lake for $3. So now you're getting into that $6,500 range, and it's a 50-mile deadhead. Now that's a little tempting, but it's still winter. But that's a lot of money you can make. There's a lot of money we can make over the what's that Friday? It'd be like Tuesday. I wouldn't do it. There's too much going on out over here. But it's looking better. It's looking more like it. But okay, we got these Missouris. We got Gary, Indiana. I like this Gary, Indiana. But look at this Omaha for 3,400, 28-mile deadhead. Only thing I don't like about this Omaha load is that it's still pretty. It's probably still winter going on. Because how far is Omaha from Kansas City? It's about 200 miles, right? Or less. I don't know. I should know. I've been to both cities many times. Omaha to Kansas City. Because you go to Kansas City first, then Omaha going north. Yeah, 185. So really, I would. I don't know. Either one's fine. It would probably just depend on the brokerage and the total miles. Okay, so we got this Omaha load that's 1,100, and I'm just talking out loud with you because this would, of course, I always say for the disclaimer, this would be happening a lot faster if we were on the field. But so we're looking at this Omaha one. So what I like about this load for a Friday load, it has very little deadhead. So if anything gets a little slowed up at the first delivery on Friday morning, all I have to do is go up to Harrisburg, straight up the road from York, and I can grab this load and be on my way. And I do want to take a quick peek at what this route looks like from York. And I'll have all weekend to drive 1,000 miles, 1,100 miles. So it's not one of my favorite routes, and there's quite a bit of tolls on that route actually. So I would probably actually be more so looking for this the other load that goes to look at this load that goes to Alabama. That's nice. It's heavy though. The one that goes to Kansas City. I wonder if it's still. But see, that's what I weigh out sometimes. Then I look at the weight too. You can't see the weight on the stream, but it's 31,000 pounds. Oh, hi, Colleen. So where this one is 31,000 pounds. So where is the Kansas City one? Is 40,000 pounds. So and also, but it's JB Hunt. So it might be less than 40,000 pounds. But it's a Richmond, Virginia deadhead. It's a Richmond, Virginia deadhead from York. So that's 201 miles. Baltimore, Washington, D.C. Down to Richmond. Then from Richmond to Kansas City, though. Let's look at that. It's a little bit shorter on the route. Scary. Ha ha ha. What's scary? What's the scary part? So Richmond, you'll have to pull that big hill getting out of Richmond on 64. I don't have a way to show this. I'm looking at Google Maps on my phone right now, just double checking the route. So going through 64, Charleston, West Virginia. See, both of these routes aren't very nice. Then you hit Louisville. By the time you get out to like Lexington and out of the mountains, you're looking pretty good. Then from St. Louis, from St. Louis to across the Missouri. I don't know. Either one of those loads will work. So let's just pick one. Because what I like about delivering to Kansas City on Monday, I think there's going to be more loads to take on Monday in Kansas City. Or we can go to Omaha, which has a smaller deadhead. It'd be a way more relaxed Friday and the weekend. With the small deadhead, but we will be paying tolls through Pennsylvania, another $150. Then a couple Illinois tolls. JB Hunt, I like JB Hunt too. See, but something's probably, we don't even know what's going on the first page anymore. It's probably something already better than those two. So let me go back to the first page real quick. See, what is this? What's that? That's Utah load. But see, this is the beautiful thing though too. When you're actually on the field and the conditions are like they are right now, this is all normal. You actually kind of have time to book freight. But of course, as you can imagine, when conditions are different or you're in dead zones, you really don't have as much time to book freight. Not if you want to get the best stuff for best profitable loads that you can for yourself and your company. So let's just look at the total rate all in, because this is Friday. I already booked us a crazy load yesterday to get us here on Friday. Not a typical load, but I guess in this right now it is. Alright, so right now I'm just going to automatically be over here looking at the destination cities. Yeah, because I know all these rates are going to be nice. So let's see where the loads are going. So we can go to Amarillo. Wow, well, Amarillo for 4,700, 44,000 pounds for Snyder. Fairbanks, Alaska. Wow. Florida, Colorado, Texas, Arizona, Texas, Big Spring. Excuse me. Okay, let's see here. We got Colorado, Laredo. Laredo's not so bad. It's coming out of it's $2 a mile, but it's 4,000. That's 45,000 pounds. I want to find something that looks good on the rate per mile, not just the gross. But let's see here. So we still got the Kansas City load here. I'm still probably going to do this Kansas City load, and I'll just make the deadhead. But see, I don't like that though. That's kind of risky. And what I mean by it's kind of risky is that to deliver way up in York, Pennsylvania, not know how your delivery, especially if you're delivering to somewhere you haven't delivered before. So I would say let's say we get empty by 10. It'll probably be 8:30, 9 o'clock. But then it's 4 hours down to Richmond with potential big traffic snags all the way down. You got Baltimore traffic snags, you got Washington D.C. traffic snags, then the whole south part of Washington D.C. to what is it, Fredericksburg, the whole section there, especially maybe not around lunchtime so much. So with that being said, let's just be more realistic. I think I'm going to, since I'm not seeing anything much over in the higher $3,000. Let me double check here. No thanks to South Dakota. Oh, you can go to Opelousas. Okay, Louisiana. No, that's not the one. Bada-boom, bada-boom. Wow, look at that King of Freight load. You can go to Batavia, Ohio, 600 miles though for $3,200. I might would do that. That's a 150-mile deadhead to Linden, New Jersey. So you're getting pretty close to New York City at that point. But for that type of money, that'd be a really smooth weekend. But let's see what type of deal it is. One drop in Reading, PA. One drop in Columbus, Ohio. One drop in Macedonia, Ohio. And 45,000 pounds with the multiple drops, and it's like 8-foot tarps. So maybe another time, another place, King of Freight. Port Arthur, Texas from Delaware. That's not a bad load, especially if you wanted to get home. 225. But with this, I'm out and I'm working. So what do we have? We got this. What's the one? Omaha. This is the one I'm calling it $3 a mile. But see, I don't know who this Outback broker is, though. We have to look at their credit score. If I can realistically include them in today's episode. No tarp roofing material. Job site delivery on the 22nd. Ooh, but you got to deliver at 3 o'clock. See the curveballs of the real world. Freight. Oops. You won't be able to see it, but I'm pulling up my calendar real quick. So, yeah, it delivers on Monday, but it delivers at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. in Omaha, which I guess will give you plenty of time to book a load on Tuesday. But you're already going to be making so much money. 3,400 plus is 2,200, so it's almost going to be like $5,000 week anyways by Monday. So maybe, so that means you would drive Friday, especially since it's a small deadhead. Drive Saturday night off, Sunday night off, and late Monday head over to the job site, deliver. Then you'll probably already know what you have for Tuesday because you'll have all of Monday to figure out what you want to do for Tuesday. And maybe you can even book a load for Monday if you wanted to, like a short load to deliver Tuesday that could pick up late in Omaha. Or maybe it would just be a good load, and since you're in Omaha, you might have to deadhead anyway for your next load. So you could reposition yourself and probably have a real easy day on Monday as well. A real easy day. I need to be looking at it this way. Sounds better. It'd be a pretty easy day on Monday. Deliver the load and just reposition maybe 100, 150 miles, 3 or 4 hours. And be ready to pick up your load on Tuesday. So that's an option too. It would just kind of take away some of the money that you could make on Monday. But this load is already good money. So let's just take a quick load and see if there's any more options popping up real quick. Because I'll just probably go with that one. Now this is not bad. Going all the way to Eagle Pass, Texas is pretty far out there. But it's $250 a mile, $4,500. It's a pretty good way to use up the weekend. $4,000 and add it with this other one. That'll be a $6,000 weekend. I mean $6,000 in like from Thursday to Monday. Y'all want to do that? It's only a 50-mile deadhead. Megacorp. That'll be interesting. See what we can get out of Texas. Because it's going to be... We can still deliver on Monday. It's going to be a big ride, though. Picks up on... Yeah. That's a big ride. But I like the deadhead. It's not too bad of a deadhead from Baltimore to York. Yeah, barely. It's like 50 miles straight down 83, right? So I'd like to call and see where this is picking up in Baltimore, because if it's picking up inside the port, a lot of us independent carriers, we may not be able to do that unless we have a SCAC code, so we can get an E-modal code to get into like Port of Baltimore and Dundalk. But yeah, maybe it doesn't pick up. Not everything picks up at the port, of course. But sometimes, like I think I mentioned that maybe in my book, but you can get into the ports. If you're hauling a load for a trucking company, like when I go into the port with ATS, they'll sign me up with their E-modal or etc. Just if you're hauling a load for a carrier, ask them if they can sign you up under E-modal, and the answer will just be yes or no. And if the answer is yes, then you can haul the load. So let's look at Baltimore to Eagle Pass, Texas. I think that's going to be mostly what where's it? I wonder which way they're going to suggest. Yeah, going over to I-81. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I like that. Right, I've been up and down I-81 so many times. That's one of my favorite cut throughs. So don't be super surprised if you see me at a truck stop somewhere up and down in between like Birmingham, Alabama to like Harrisonburg, Pennsylvania. But not Harrisonburg, Pennsylvania, but up and down, actually all the way up down Hagerstown and to Harrisburg, yeah. I don't really go much further than Harrisburg, but in between Harrisburg and Birmingham and everything that feeds off that I-81. So you go all the way down to 81, Meridian, Mississippi, cut down to Hattiesburg, go across the 12 and the 10, Baton Rouge, Lafayette. You get to go across a nice pretty bridge, one of the longest bridges in the country or the world, I forget. Lafayette, go over the tall bridge, go through Beaumont, Houston, all the way across the 10, San Antonio, cut across, and now you're pretty far out there. And this is only, what, $250 a mile? But let's, I don't even want to do it, but we're going to do it. We'll do it for the sake of it. How many miles is this? 1,800 miles. So it's 515, so we could probably do 16, 17. So yeah, we can get pretty close. Probably be already San Antonio. All right, let's do it. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's just make all the money at once. You'll have one and done. Have your whole. It'll be the whole weekend to take it. Be some nice sights. Going down to 81. Get down to Louisiana. Okay, let me pull my calculator back up on my end. Clear it, because it's $4,500. Small deadhead, not crazy heavy. Fuel gets cheaper as you go down. Probably not that great of a place to go to, actually. Eagle Pass on Monday. But I can't have this show last much longer than an hour, right? So, um, 50-mile deadhead. Let's just round up and say 1,800 total miles. Divided by 6 miles per gallon. 300 gallons needed. And since we're going down further south and the field's going to be getting a little bit better, I'll also say about 2 times. Because remember, I'm paying as much as low as 260 right now in the southern states. So I just rounded off at like 275. So we're going to need $847 for fuel. And plus, another reason this load is good, decent too, is because of how much money the Thursday load made to Friday. So it's kind of funny. Went to York, wasn't really expecting like crazy, but got this one. So maybe when we get the Eagles Pass, there's something down there too. Then by the time we get the Eagles Pass, it's almost gonna be time for a 34-hour restart or like a little break or something, because that's running pretty hard. Well, consistently on the 70. So let's do the total. What is it? 4,500. And what was the fuel cost? $875. So we're looking at about a $3,600 profit. Okay, so 3,625. Let's add back 2,300. 86. So wow, $6,000, and that was after paying for the tolls on the first load to York, and after paying for fuel on both loads. And how many miles? Let's see. So we're looking at so far that was 6,000, but we did drive quite a bit of miles because of this long load to Eagle Pass. Plus 473 loaded off the first one, and 136 on the deadhead. So we're looking at about 2,400 total miles. Not bad. So we're looking at 6,000 and $6,000 in a week, and really that was from a Thursday to a Monday. We still got time to make some money on Monday to Tuesday. So let's divide that by clear. What's the number? 6,011. Let's divide that by the mileage. So 250 a mile average. All miles simple profit after fuel and tolls. Not bad. So let's look at what we got going on at the other side to finish this episode. So let's go down to Eagle Pass. But the first load was such a good load, and sometimes it's nice just to go on those little bit longer of a hauls that don't go to like such dead areas, because even South Texas can be sometimes dead area, or West Texas, but it's not like the deadest of areas, because you're still half a day or a day away from places that will be needing and wanting to ship out. So let's change this pickup date to Monday. And let's also remember that today is only Thursday, so it's not going to super accurately reflect what's really going on Monday and Tuesday until we get to tomorrow, on Friday, and Monday itself. But we will probably be able to get a pretty good look of something, at least get a feel, and maybe even book a load. You just never know. That's why it doesn't hurt to be proactive and having initiative with the freight booking. But look at this. Isn't this quite a difference? Now we're down to 35 loads on the load board. You can't see it on yours. It's all the way to the right. So now we're in quite the predicament, huh? Yeah. Hey, we made $6,000 though. And it's not too far. of a deadhead to different places, but let's just see here. And it's still Thursday, so I wouldn't even really worry about it too much. And I don't know, I wouldn't even have booked the Texas load so quick, but for the sake of the episode, I did. Because on the field, we have a little bit more time where we don't have to rush ourselves so often to book. But if you do see a good opportunity, it's booking ahead is pretty much preferred. So, to a certain extent, I like to be ahead by a load or a load and a half, maybe 2 loads to 3. Just depends. So let's look at this rate per mile. So there's not really anything even posted right now with rates. So you can almost bet that anything that pays anything halfway decent over here is probably stuff going to Colorado or somewhere going west. So, but look at this. I ought to go ahead and haul this right there to Bossier City. I've been making so much money this last couple of days. I'll haul this for $1.82. What's okay? So it doesn't pick up. Dang. Hold on. What's the date? Oh, it can pick up on Monday or Tuesday. There we go. 100-mile deadhead. Go all the way out to Bossier City. Call it a wrap. I wouldn't even probably wait for anything much better than this. Well, actually, it's not so bad either. You can go all the way to Georgia for $1.89. All these different ones coming out of Laredo, but I'd probably go ahead and go with this short load and just go ahead and get it off instead of driving a whole 1,000 miles with this $1.82. So I'd probably just go ahead and get in and out on this Bossier City one. All right, so with the Bossier City one, 43,000 pounds, Amino Transport. They're a real company. They're I believe I hauled for Amino. But I have to check my customer list. I think I have. I've definitely seen Amino around though. So this is going to be the load. This one's going to be the one that's not so pretty. But let's run the Google Maps on it real quick and wrap this one up and see what we did. Because after doing this, it'll be time for a 34. Time for about a 34. Just a couple short little casual loads, right? What are we? Okay, we're in Eagle Pass going to Laredo. 125 miles. So let's just pull the calculator back up and do the math real quick. So we're doing 125 miles deadhead to Laredo. Then from Laredo, it's going to be Bossier City, Shreveport. So that's 550. But I don't know. Let me let the map load up a little bit better, because that's 550, but that's not going on the interstate the whole time. I would like a route that I can get onto the interstate, like this San Antonio to Austin to Waco, then you cut across Corsicana, then you connect up to 20 on Tyler. It's 20 more miles to go that way. I mean, Highway 79 is not a bad road. It's not. What's the 79? 546, 56, 66, 20. So it's almost 20 more miles to go the interstate route, but you still have to go all the way from Waco to Tyler off the interstate. So it's pretty much the same route. I'd probably just get off in Austin. At least it's Texas, but I really wouldn't be looking too forward to that route that day. I mean, because you get to ride the interstate, well, at least you get to ride the interstate all the way from Laredo to San Antonio, then to Austin, then you just got to get off in Austin and just ride the big old Highway 79 all the way up to Longview. So, let's do that. 550 miles, 675 miles, divided by 6. Cost of fuel down there is $2.69, give or take. Okay, I didn't do my math right. 550 plus 125 deadhead miles, 675 miles, divided by 6, times 2.69 for the fuel, $300. So this one's not going to be like yeah, this one's not that great, but still $700. So we'll take that, 300 out of 1,000. That's going to be $700, of course. When we do 1,000 minus out that 300, so we're looking at 700. And what was the additional miles? It was 675 additional miles. So I mean, that was a pretty long week, 3,000 miles. So I'm at the hour point now. So that's what. But look at the total money is nice though. That's $6,700 after fuel. It was worth it. Those 3,000 miles was worth it. Yeah, $6,700. And it was a pretty relaxed schedule, I think, for the most part. It was pretty busy going down the Eagle Pass, but you had the load. You just got to keep going on it. The first load was 400 miles, 473 loaded, so it wasn't so bad. But yeah, that first load really boosted this up. But if we wanted to, we probably could have took a load that paid less instead of going all the way out to Texas, and could have made pretty close to the same amount of money, but maybe on less miles. But sometimes you want to take the scenic route, go a little bit further, because this is still great money. Can't much argue with that. So even when you take your 34-hour restart, and let's just say you don't make as much the next week, but the conditions are similar. So let's say you make 4. That means you still average $5,000 a week, $10,000 in 2 weeks. That's pretty great. I mean, not a very high percentage of people can say they're doing that consistently, unless they're out here doing it similar to this. So today's conditions are a little different. Fuel prices are going up; those are impacting the rates. But there's just, I don't know. We seem to have volume. We have volume. It's very loud in many places. So that's it for number 15. We did $6,700 on 3 loads. It was almost 3,000 miles, but that was from the span of a Thursday morning to a Tuesday morning, Thursday to a Tuesday. So probably from Tuesday to Wednesday night. So really by that Thursday again, could have a 34-hour restart and be ready to go. So that's it for today's episode. If you would like, comment, and subscribe, I appreciate it. Helps get this show out. I like doing this show, and this show helps get my awareness out that I have a book. So I do have something that I sell, and I appreciate everybody that buys that, and I'll work on making it better as I go. I already see things about the book that I want to make better, so it just takes time for different editions to come out, but the first edition is here. So this is what one of the most important parts that we do in the trucking business is our operation. This is a big part of operation. It's just taking on a little bit of extra responsibility to book your freight. And I think that extra responsibility, once you start to get into a groove of knowing you can do it and producing results, it really becomes more of a privilege, not a privilege, but it really becomes more of an opportunity than a responsibility. Because I still like and love the fact that I book my own freight, because I know the patterns pretty well. I know the cities pretty well. And I just got a good intuition of where to go and where to put myself to have the best opportunity. And most of the time, I'm correct. And when the repetition of that is so frequent, you start to create your own groove and path in trucking, where you get to decide what success is. Is success to you a whole bunch of money? Do you want to make money like this just for like a year straight so you can save up money and do this and do this? Or do you want to make money and also have home time, the freedom of time aspect? So there's, and I see a lot of the old school guys out here, they find the perfect balance where they're pretty much semi-retired. And that's what I'm been doing, and I like that style of trucking, the semi-retired style. We just go out here, and when we go out here, we do it efficiently as possible. We book these loads, we put ourselves in these places, we bring our own tools, and we go out. We do well for 2 or 3 weeks, and we come home until we're ready to come out again. Or or maybe or maybe we'll go out for like an out and back, or for 1 week a month. There's so many different ways to do it, but it's up to you. That's why it's a neat business, and when you get better at this side, even when conditions aren't as well as they are now, I think it's a better opportunity to have some say so on how much money you're making. Because I did a couple operations where I was allowing my freight to be booked, and by that time I already had the habit of booking my own freight. So by that time I couldn't really do it. But I'm sure there's great dispatchers, and I know I would be a great dispatcher. Yeah. Um, and booking freight, because I've been on all these roads. So that's a lot of the reason that goes into how I book my freight sometimes too. Is like, what is the route like? What is the terrain like? Is this really something I want to be doing? Like when I was mentioning the in Maryland on the Panhandle, and toting really anything over 30,000 pounds. Never mind 40 and 43 and 45,000 pounds. So even my drivers, I would just have to, like, if I was dispatching, I would just really have to ask my drivers. And that's a pro tip to the dispatchers that might be watching. Just really ask your drivers the terrains and the routes, and the weights that they're acceptable in, and just maybe look at a topography map of elevation, and just look at, there's these certain points. Pretty much you could just bet it's up and down the Appalachian Mountains and the Rocky Mountains, and those are just tough places to drive, and tough places to haul heavyweight around, especially as an owner operator, when that's your drive line, that's your transmission, that's your tires, or at least that's how it feels to me. But ever since I got into trucking, I'm connected to trucking on a driving level, but I'm also connected to trucking on a business and a practical level. And I'm like, man, that's my transmission, that's my drive line, and I gotta take care of it. And it's hard for me to, it's hard for me to really optimize my equipment, and make it last and take care of it like that if I'm just taking very heavy loads up these certain parts of the mountains, and putting that much pressure on my truck and drive line, especially if the rates don't justify, which they almost, I don't want to be negative and pessimistic, but they almost never do in some situations. Yeah. That was like my buddy a year or two ago. He took this load all the way up to Oregon, but they were teaming, him and his wife, and they just really didn't want to go to Oregon. But the load had to go, and they're like, "Well, what does it take?" And he said, "Look, I don't want to go because I think the load was heavy too, and the routes, and it was like 1,800 miles. They'd have to run it for 4 days straight." And I think he told him something like, I think he said like $16,000. And so it's just really like that for us sometimes. And he got the load too. He did it. Yeah, they did. So, but it's really like that sometimes. The longer you're out here, because you start to see, hopefully you start to get into a marathon mentality and not just a sprint mentality. Because when we run the sprint, we tend to burn out and fizzle out a little bit quicker, we can have some good runs. But of course, I think a nice balance in trucking is to have the marathon mentality, but be able to sprint. Because like right now, when the conditions are right, this is a good time to be out here sprinting. Yep, you sprint with the marathon as the big picture plan, of course. So with that being said, I hope you guys are making a good ton of money this week, and for everybody that's processing, going through the process of transitioning to be an owner operator, just keep on studying and getting familiar with the different informations, and of course familiar with driving if you're already driving, because driving is the easy part. Driving's pretty much the fun part. It's all pretty much fun if you look at it from a distance, but yeah, so just getting familiar with driving too, but just reading, researching, talking to owner operators at the truck stops if you can, if somebody's got their hood popped open, and just striking small conversations and seeing what's going on and poking around, and maybe you can get some questions answered. And that's another reason why I wrote so much in my book too, because I know what it's like, and I remember when I had so many questions to ask, and it's kind of hard to get that much answers from one person. So that's definitely one thing that was a goal of mine in writing my book, is just to just remember as much as I can, so it can kind of be like a one-stop shop. So like, hey, I need help with this one thing. Let me see if Drew knows about it. My trucking mentor via PDF file thing, because I went into the depths of my memory to write as much as I could, so that I could remember. Because yeah, it's a lengthy process when you're piecing it all from person to person and conversation to conversation. Uh, so that resource is here, and stay safe. It looks like the weather's getting better. I love this daylight savings time. I had a 25% off daylight savings time I did over the weekend. And yeah, so andrewsmethod.com is definitely up and running and functional and processing for the books and for my logo design. I got some awesome looking logos. I'll be happy to make one for you. I got a little bit more time before I go over the road, but when I'm over the road, it's a little bit harder for me to make the logos, but I still get them done. And if I get too backed up, like more than 5, I just shut it down. Yeah, I'll shut it down until I get caught back up. So um, there's no just unnecessary expectations on either end, um, because it's a service, so it takes a little bit of time, and yeah, don't want to have anybody waiting longer than they think they should. But it is a little bit of a process. It takes me sometimes a couple hours or a couple days. It just depends on what's going on. But um, you know, we communicate through email. Then of course, mytruckingsecrets.com. You see it right down there at the bottom. We made $6,700 this week. That pays for insurance for a couple months. Maybe we should do it again. Then we could take some time off if we want. That's it for episode 15. I'll see you. Thanks for everybody on YouTube sticking around and being a part of the show. That's fun. And I am out of here. I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya. Be safe, be careful, and chase the freedom, not the miles, right? I'm Andrew. See ya.